we've been found out a little bit, you know. We've had some key injuries to Kulusevski, to Richarlison, you know, Højbjerg didn't play at the weekend, and we've been found out. The squad's bang average.
It's an interesting take, really, there from Jamie O'Hara, because for weeks and weeks and weeks, we've been told Spurs' squad, well, from the summer onwards, Spurs' squad is better than Arsenal's, manager better than Arsenal's, better than Man United's, better than Chelsea's. Just before their defeat to Arsenal, there was this whole, why aren't we being praised? We're unbeaten. Why are we not being looked at in the same way as Arsenal? Why are people putting us neck and neck, maybe in a top 4 race with Chelsea, with Man United? How dare people say Newcastle would get anything at White Hart Lane? It's interesting to see this take now.
And if it ain't for Son and Kane, it's a really, really average side. The new signings have come in, haven't really kicked on. Terrace, I'm not convinced with. You know, Bissouma's been really average or even poor in a way. And, you know, Jed Spence hasn't even really been given an opportunity. So,
and that is all on Antonio Conte. That is all on Antonio Conte. Bissouma has only just started coming into the team. Perisic, I told everybody at the time, he's an old man coming into the fastest, most aggressive, top-level league in Europe. Too much for him. Too much for him. And Jed Spence, the way he's been treated is a disgrace.
So, you know, we've been found out. You know, Romero gets injured as well, and you have to play Sanchez. I don't know what Sanchez is playing at. I mean, for me, he's worth, how we paid 45 million for him, I'll never know. He's just an accident waiting to happen.
And what I'm going to say is this. The injuries have come in, and they have got injuries. Let's not discount things, though. St. Maximin and Alexander Isak were both missing for Newcastle in that game. They've got beat by Man United, who have certainly not completed their rebuild yet. I've got many players that everybody laughs at how bad they are, and they were comprehensively played off the park. But we know what this is. And let me just say it out there now. Arsenal have broken Tottenham. They've broken them. And people are saying, oh, you're just being hyperbolic. I'm not. Spurs fans almost created this sort of, we won the transfer window. We should be seen as title contenders. We're level on points with City. Why are Arsenal getting all the plaudits? Why are people calling out how we play football? In fact, that's exactly what Jamie O'Hara himself said just a few weeks ago.
Style of play.
One's digging out.
They are.
Who's digging out Spurs?
Everyone.
Who's name them?
You, Jason Cundy.
I'm not digging out Spurs.
Laura Woods, Darren Bent, Gabby Bonglahor. Everyone in this station
what are they saying?
digs out Spurs.
What are they saying?
That we're boring. Saying we're not good to watch, and Spurs are this and Spurs are that.
But you are a bit boring and not good to watch.
Well, before I go to Mick, I tell you this is the problem I have with everyone at the minute. Spurs are a problem for the big hitters.
You got beaten by all of them. You've not beaten a team inside the top 6 all season. You're not a problem for us. This is the issue. I still think Spurs will make the top 4. I still think Spurs are a very good team. But it was the overhyping. We're as good as Arsenal. We're better than Chelsea. We can compete with Man City. No, you can't. You can't. You're not good enough. The mentality at your club isn't good enough. And I saw a lot of Tottenham fans creating this kind of notion online. Don't let anyone speak out about us. They wanted these Tottenham fans, not all, my channel shut down. Cancel, boycott the Terrace because he's too nice about Arsenal. I'm not too nice about Arsenal. They're just better than you. It's not my fault that North London is red. How is that my fault? It isn't. It's not my fault. They've got more trophies than you. It isn't my fault that in your golden Premier League period, they won more trophies than you. It's not on me. It's on your football club. It's on your manager. It's on your players. Whoever you want to blame is up to you. But you could see the anger earlier on this season from Spurs fans, and this is the next bit to come. And you will see this in the coming weeks. I kid you not. If you've got to 5 minutes or so into this stream, you're going to hear this. If you haven't, because you don't want to listen, that's up to you. Again, free country. Arsenal playing well, Arsenal being top of the league is making this even worse. This is why the cracks are appearing. It's that notion of, but look what's over there. How often have you bought food in a restaurant, been fairly happy with it, but then you see other people's food coming out and you go, oh, I wish I had that. Oh, that looks good. The idea of the grass is always greener on the other side. Sometimes, though, maybe it just is.
I was a bit unsure on whether he was the right man for the job. Yeah, we've had a few bad results, but looking from when he joined to now, we play boring, back-passing football. His tactics are absolutely diabolical. We're losing 2-0 against United, and what does he do? He brings 3 defenders on with 8 minutes to go.
See, Spurs fans are calling this out now. They're calling the style out. Yes, they're in a good position in the league, but they're not happy with the style. Why? 2 reasons. They know that it is unsustainable, and they know that it's irking them that other teams are looking better on the field of play. They have their entertainment. You got the sustainability and how things look. And on top of that, what irks people, and I've been there, is you get frustrated. You get frustrated at the fact that rival fans are happy with their team. Man United are starting to get a bit of this now. What do you guys mean you like your players and you're happy with how things are going? Yeah, we are. Yes, we're sitting 6th in the league, but we're very encouraged about what the future looks like under Erik ten Hag. Still need more players, still need to improve the squad, still need to move people on. But 2 to 3 months in, we're very excited about the future, but we're not going to get carried away. Spurs fans are not. I would say now 80% of Spurs fans are very pessimistic about the future. And to compound that, Arsenal looking very good is a big frustration to them. Massively. Now, I want your comments below. I want to know what you think and feel. And take a look at what Craig Berliner had to say about Arsenal yesterday, though, because they had their first slip up of the season, barring the Man United game. Listen to what he had to say.
But he's not, particularly on that side, he's not going to give you that marauding fullback width down that side. And so maybe you can look at, and some will say, well, it's worked all season for them, and it has.
So, of course, Arsenal kind of getting called out a little bit here. To give you a backstory on this, getting called out a little bit because maybe the team that was picked yesterday was a little bit safe. Maybe a little bit more rotation is needed from Arteta ahead of time. Could these players be a little bit tired and maybe even a little bit complacent? And that could be true. You know, as great as Arteta's done this year, you are allowed to call out mistakes without being overtly hyperbolic or sensationalist by saying he has to go, he has to be sacked. So it's intriguing, this take here.
But Southampton are a side that generally have been struggling. And maybe that was just a little bit too safe in terms of the team selection. But, you know, it wasn't a great performance from them, there's no doubt about it. And maybe in those days you're hoping to get the call that they should have done with the penalty kick. But it's not a disaster. But I was expecting them to get 3 points today.
I think what's really interesting for Arsenal, everyone expected 3 points. Their first half performance was brilliant. Yeah, you really thought this could have been an embarrassing day for Southampton, but they got the point. Yes, the referee should have given Arsenal a penalty. There's no doubt about it. I think what saved Arsenal, because I think there would have been a huge media onslaught today, a massive media onslaught, if Spurs had won. Spurs would be, a point behind them. The pressure's now picking up on Arsenal, but they didn't. They drew. But what I would say is this, and this is really important to remember when it comes to these situations, is that City this season dropped points. Legitimately, City dropped points this season to Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa. They dropped points this season to them. So Arsenal were allowed to have a bad day in the office. Arsenal were allowed to have a poor moment, as it were. And it's kind of nice to see, actually, people not. I thought this morning there was going to be a lot more exaggeration. I thought today there was going to be a lot more kind of over the top analysis, a lot more trying to throw Arsenal Football Club under the bus. I think Spurs losing has shown more issues there than anywhere else. Of course, there's still the Liverpool fallout. Don't forget they got beat by Nottingham Forest this weekend as well. Arsenal are allowed to have a poor performance. Arsenal were allowed to have a weekend where they're not at their scintillating best and drop points. Everybody will drop points this year. but Arsenal's performances generally have been sustainable. Yes, they've got a couple of players that are not at their best at the minute. The Gabriel hasn't been at his best for the last 4 or 5 games. He'll come back. It's not abnormal to have 2 or 3 games where you're not quite at your scintillating best. So I think Arsenal fans have got to remain calm. And what you're now starting to see, and the reason that we've focused on this a lot this year has been because it's been such an interesting football conversation for me to follow, has been the way Arsenal have been spoken about. And you're seeing a relaxing from the media now. You're seeing a kind of approach which is, okay, well, I know Arsenal slipped up, but we're not going to go in on them. And do you know why they're not going to go in on them? Because Arsenal are very likely to bounce back very quickly, win in the Europa League this week, win their next league game. Then all these, and nobody wants to set themselves up for failure, be clipped up and made to look silly. So I think Arsenal are now starting to get respect. At the same time as gaining respect, I really think they've helped massively break this Tottenham community. I've been called out by certain content creators in the past 24 hours, some of which I know it's banter, some can't stand me. It's not my fault. I just speak things as they are. But listen, Jamie O'Hara breaking, Spurs fans calling for Conte's head. Others want their board out. For a club that won the transfer window, for a team that 2 weeks ago they were telling us we should be talking about as title contenders. They seem very, very broken, upset, and angry as of right now. Hit that like and share button for us. Make sure you subscribe to the Football Terrace. I want to say a big thank you to the level of growth we've had in the past month. Over 10,000 new subscribers. Absolutely out of this world. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you soon. Thank you.